Our next speaker is serving as the VP of Community and Giving at Bombas, Kelly Cobb. Being a native Nebraska, I'm doing my best not to go after the low-hanging corn cob jokes, but in all seriousness, if you haven't heard about Bombas, you're missing out. They are an apparel company that creates socks, t-shirts, and underwear, and have an awesome one-for-one giving model where you buy a pair and Bombas donates to individuals experiencing homelessness. I can attest to their comfort and quality. I'm currently wearing my Bombas socks, and so too can the moderator of this discussion, Chad Kilpatrick. Chad is the Director of Talent Community at Spreetail and leads their social impact team. So now please give a warm welcome as we continue to expand our circle of compassion for Kelly and Chad.
Kelly, how are you doing today?
Hey, Chad. Thanks, Graham.
Awesome.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm excited to talk to you. So in Graham and Jay, Bombas is much more than just socks. I have my favorite Bombas t-shirt on right now. So I am probably one of the biggest Bombas fans in the world and could not be more excited to talk to the amazing Kelly Cobb. I've actually met Kelly in New York City. I wish we were talking in New York City right now, but I'm proud to be talking to you from Lincoln, Nebraska. So Kelly, let's hop right in. You know, we could talk for a long time. We only got 20 minutes here. And so tell us, you know, we know a little bit more. We know a little bit about Bombas, but give us a little more background. The company, who you are. Give us a little bit of insight into your mission, also.
Sure. Well, hi everyone. I'm so glad to be here today. Bombas definitely holds a special place in my heart. Bombas was founded in 2013 when we learned that socks are the #1 most requested clothing item at homeless shelters. And so from the very beginning, we had this great mission built into the DNA of our company, this commitment to giving a pair of socks for every pair purchased. And we knew that in order to be able to donate a lot of socks, we would have to make some pretty damn good ones to sell, and set out on that journey. And I think, at least hearing from the two of you, we've accomplished a great sock. I'm biased. I love our socks, but we've sold a lot of them to date. We've been able to donate almost 15 million pairs to organizations around the U.S. that serve individuals who are at risk of or experiencing homelessness. We currently have over 3,500 of these organizations who we call giving partners, the orgs that serve homeless communities and individuals all across the country. And we couldn't do what we do without them. So to me and my team, these organizations and the folks that they serve are our customers and the folks that we want to make happy every day and make sure that we're delivering to them exceptional product. And we're really excited that beyond just socks, as Graham mentioned, t-shirt, and as Chad is modeling, t-shirts, underwear being the second most requested item and t-shirts being the third most requested item, that together with our partners, we're able to deliver these material needs to folks that need them most. And in many cases, use these items, these things that we tend to not think about every day, the things that we just put on, every single day, they can often lead individuals toward additional support services that they might not otherwise have come to access, which has been a wonderful aspect of that connectivity that I don't think we would have even imagined at the beginning.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I've been the opportunity to partner with Bombas here at Spreetail, and you are great partners across the board from corporate and nonprofit. So I want to ask a few questions around just your B Corp certification. You know, you are a proud B Corp member. So what ultimately led Bombas to pursue B Corp certification?
Great question. So Bombas was founded in 2013. We got our first certification in December of 2017. And it was spearheaded by one of our team members, Walker Stoley, who's been at Bombas about as long as I have, almost 5 years now. And he brought it to the attention of our founders and said, based on this mission that we're founded on and this people first culture, and, we really care about what we're doing, not just profit, but all of the other important things that we want to stand behind. And I think we should solidify it by becoming a certified B Corp. So he really led the charge at that point and got us through our first assessment, which for anyone that's gone through the assessment knows that it's quite challenging, not for the faint of heart. but we were so proud of that initial assessment and of all of the ways that we could continue to improve upon the different facets that maybe we weren't able to get points on the first time around, but that we could work toward. And to answer your question about the importance of it, I think for us, it really meant solidifying a commitment to our core values, legally binding commitment, and knowing that as a small and nimble company, it's fairly easy to be idealists and to hold our best interests close to heart and promise that we'll do good. But unfortunately, I think it becomes all too easy as companies scale, and you never know when things might change hands or you take on investors, and how quickly some of your ideals could be derailed. And so we wanted to ensure, and that hasn't happened, but we wanted to ensure that that wouldn't ever happen, and that we were really putting a stake in the ground for the things that we cared most about.
Yeah, that's great. And what does working at a B Corp, what does that mean to you? And what does that maybe mean to the employees that are your teammates?
I think there's a real pride around it for sure. And as prevalent seeming as B Corps are now, I still think that there are a lot of folks that don't actually know all that much about them, or maybe don't even realize that some of their favorite companies are B Corp. And so I think part of it is the training of new team members to have this pride and close connection to what it means and how it relates to the core values that Bombas seeks to instill in our employees and practice on a daily basis, and understanding that connection. There are these core values that have always been true to Bombas, but just having that extra step, I think, proves this level of commitment that is unwavering. So for team members that to know and appreciate that, and know that we're bound by this, and what that means as far as a culture and our commitments overall, and the people first mentality that we're proud of, I think it leads to a large amount of pride.
Yeah, no, and you said so many just points I could ask you a million questions on after that. I think what stuck out, you mentioned integrated employees. So how do you, how at Bombas, how do you integrate new hires, or how do you attract amazing talent, especially in the workforce environment we're in right now?
Yeah, it's certainly been challenging on that front, and we've continued to grow amazingly. It was a great year to be an e-commerce comfort apparel brand. For a year working from home, we really hit the jackpot with that, I would say, and being able to be socks are the new shoes and comfort people, as well as, of course, striving to support our mission during this time. But anyway, yeah, onboarding new folks during this time has been challenging, but I think also really exciting to see the ways that we can still connect with one another. I know there's been an amount of Zoom fatigue for sure, but with some creativity and maintaining the personal energy that I think is so special when we're in the office all together, and knowing that the employees that have once upon a time met each other in person can help to exponentially bring that same energy as we're welcoming in new folks. We have this onboarding program called Bombboarding, and very clever. It's a series of kind of like workshops, interactive workshops with each key department across Bombas that new employees go through as sort of like a new hire cohort. So they're learning all of the bits and pieces from all the different teams about giving, about PR, about product lifecycle, they learn from the founders and the executive team. And I think it's a really fun and interesting way to get kind of school of Bombas and bond with one another and really be welcomed into the hive.
That's awesome. And I should mention, I have a pair of your slippers also, which are amazing. So it's a little bit warmer here in Nebraska right now, so I don't use them as much, but I'm a big fan of those also. So kind of back to B Corps a little bit. What advice do you have to business leaders considering moving down the B Corp path?
Yeah, I think it's never too late. It might take a bit of backtracking or soul searching, but I think it's never too late. And the assessment, which one can access on the B Corp website, I think is a really incredible resource and tool. I mean, we're going through our second assessment now. After 3 years, you go through, you renew your assessment, and it's incredible to go through the questions and just look at the things that one might easily be able to look at and say, okay, great, like we're doing a number of these things, and you can feel good about it. And then also seeing the things that you couldn't yet check off or get points for at this point, and how those things might help to define an ethos that you might not yet have or want to improve upon, or help one to lay out a roadmap and think about how the goals that you might have already set company-wide could potentially roll into those, or if there may be in direct conflict with some of the things that you're doing. And I think so much of we're founded in our mission, and it's outward facing, and we're all about supporting this incredible, huge community of people. But if we didn't have a nurturing, supportive internal culture that supported our team members in an authentic way, there's just no way that our outward facing mission would land and could be as effective if we weren't practicing the things that we're preaching. And so I think too, as it relates to B Corp and someone wanting to go down that path as a business leader, is taking a look at internal practices and thinking about the way that you relate to your team members. I mean, Rita has had so many good things to say on this topic. And I think from leadership, how they're leading by example, and how all these ideals translate from department to department, and even at a most basic level, is a really important first step to take to ensure that one can really get behind these things and believes in it. You have to believe it to build it.
Yeah, no. Again, a million things I could ask questions on there, but I think, along with that, the advice, and then I want to get to some how do you practice what you preach, what you mentioned there, but advice. So advice for I think we have a lot of different folks on at the conference here, folks that might be looking to start a business or make changes in their current business. I think, Kelly, Bombas is amazing because you have an amazing product and you have an amazing mission. So like two great things that just make it easy for me to talk about and for you to talk about, I can tell. So like what advice do you have for people maybe still looking for that mission? Like they want to push their company to do more good in certain areas. What advice do you have for those of us that are listening to help do more good out there and align with the mission like you guys have?
Sure. And now's the time. It's almost getting to a point where one can't not have a mission to an extent, just even as just a business differentiator, it's an amazing way to stand out in a marketplace. But of course, important that it is rooted in authenticity. And I think it can feel really overwhelming, especially we're very lucky that it's truly part of the DNA of the company. But that doesn't mean that one can't implement mission farther down the road. I think the overwhelming part is knowing where to begin, how to pick the thing that you care about. And I think what we often talk about with like how to even start volunteering or how to pick the thing that you're connected to is to simplify, to think about what are your innate skills? What are your company's innate skills? How can you and the people that you work together with use those skills or sense of business purpose to direct it toward a need? And there are so many needs, and I don't think that it has to just sort of be the banner needs, so to speak, but there's so many skills-based opportunities that can be lent to organizations of all kinds. And so I think finding that thing that feels truly important to you and your team members, and it could even start with an internal survey and get the conversation going, see what people care about, see what people want to get behind, and then pick something. It's really easy to want to do all of the things, and when it feels so overwhelming, like so much change is needed to sort of stay in your lane. But the more that you can simplify and stay in your lane and tie the work that you're doing back to this thing that you care about and help people understand how what they're doing is adding up towards something greater, I think is the first step. And it can start really small, but creating that foundation and rallying everyone around it is an excellent way to begin.
Yep. Awesome. And thank you for, the lights went off in the room I'm in right now. It's we'll just go with that. But hey, different technology issues that we deal with. I didn't want to take my call at home because I didn't want my kids interrupting this. But, I think, I had the amazing opportunity to visit in New York City. I think it was that probably 2 years ago, Kelly, when we met. And one of the things I remember is you and Sam gave me socks to pass out on the streets after I left. And so it's just amazing to see your vision in or your mission every day. So tell me, what are some of the skills-based volunteering you do, or how do you practice what you preach and get people involved at Bombas in homelessness and helping in that need there in the community?
Sure. That connection really starts at the recruitment stage or interview stage with our people recruiters, speaking about our mission and ensuring that the core values are aligned with the individuals that are potentially joining the company. And the socks that you referenced, we have a big bin by our front door where folks going out for lunch or to a meeting can bring donation socks with them to interact with folks on the street that might be in need of some socks. And that's a great way to connect to our mission and a very organic way. And otherwise, I think with the skills based is something that we're piloting right now with our executive team and pairing each executive with one of our giving partners to help with a 3-month project that we're scoping out and doing some matchmaking to pair the skills that they have with some of the needs of our partners to help with things like that are very business minded, say that their team might not otherwise have access to, or someone with the expertise that some of our executive team members might have, like optimizing a marketing plan or understanding how to redesign a social media campaign to attract more fundraisers to better help support the work that they do, thinking through operations and logistics and distribution of donation products that they have and realizing efficiencies there. So there are these things that we're starting to be able to connect the dots, like beyond material goods like socks. How else can we support the people who are supporting the community that we're ultimately making our product for, to help them better optimize their work? So that I'm very excited about. And otherwise, as far as practicing what we preach, I think it really is rooted in this people first culture that we have. And I know I've mentioned it, but I just continue to be impressed with how much we've been able to evolve. And even as we get bigger, we're somewhere over 150 employees, I think, at this point, and it's just wonderful to see how much everyone cares about each other. I mean, I know it sounds cheesy, but it's rooted in the way that our founders had wanted to see this company grow. They wanted to create something different and experience something different that they themselves had experienced in the corporate world or fashion world or creative world, and they've been so true to it. And we continue to see where we've maybe had blind spots and need to evolve. This has been a huge year of reckoning for things, particularly around diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we've made a number of steps to get better at all of those things. And it's great to see it continuously be put into action.
Yeah. I think we have a couple more minutes. We have 3 minutes. So,
Okay.
Fun one. What have you learned in your role? Like, I think you have an amazing, there are a lot of people jealous of you probably right now on this call about the amazing job you have, and you get all these cool socks and t-shirts and slippers. So it's not easy. Skills-based volunteering and finding those projects, we know that's not easy. So what have you learned in your role the past 3-4 years or 4-5 years, I think almost? What's one of the biggest learning moments you had? And what can you share with all of us on the call here?
Wow, Chad.
Oh, sorry.
This is a big one. So much. And my background wasn't in the work that I'm doing now. I came from fashion production for 7 years, and then I owned a floral studio for 5 years after that in New York. It's quite what would seem like an unrelated amount of experience, but I think so much of what I was able to take from the two worlds that I had come from and apply to this work is the importance and the power of bringing people together around a shared experience, and what it means to do all of that in a dignified way. and to use things like beautiful and thoughtful product design, or in a past world that might have been a photo shoot or a beautifully designed wedding. How can we think about the experiences and the way that we bring people together in a way that fosters a sense of love and being cared for and connectivity that's genuine? And those are the things that I wasn't getting from my past life, like that heart aligned feeling of meaningful connection. And what was so amazingly offered to me in this opportunity was to do all of these things, like to be able to bring all the skills and experience that I had to communities that didn't often have those things created for them. And so to me, that's been one of the most incredible parts. And our ability to innovate in so many ways means, certainly as a very small company, it felt easy, and now we still are able to remain nimble and sort of create our own programming and think outside of the box as far as the ways that we can help folks in the nonprofit space in a way that a for-profit company might not have otherwise been equipped to do so or thought to do so. Rewrite some rules, and always think about how we can ask questions, get feedback, and then really implement it in a way that supports people at the core of what they're seeking and needing, and do it in a way that's really supportive and cooperative. Awesome. I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, yes, and many more times. So no, Kelly, just thank you. We could talk for a long time, but I think I'll turn it back over to Graham and Jay, and just thank you so much for taking the time. And if you don't know Bombas, please go check them out. Their clothes are amazing, and they have an amazing purpose that I can definitely personally get behind. But thank you, Kelly.
Thanks so much, Chad. So good to see you.
You even had the alarm going off right as you finished. I mean, man, right on time. Amazing. Great job. Kelly, thank you so much for being here and talking about the work that you're all doing. It's wonderful to be able to have both Bombas and Spreetail, and especially with each of your commitments to supporting individuals transitioning out of homelessness that are experiencing homelessness. There's a lot of collision between your missions and the work that you both are doing. And so very grateful for both of you, and thank you for taking this time to share and be a part of our organization and what we're trying to build here at Do More Good.
Thank you so much.